Imagine two boys, Sam and Ken, inseparable since childhood, sharing every joy and sorrow together. They were more than friends, they were brothers not bound by blood, but by their shared experiences, their dreams, and their unyielding bond. Growing up in the same neighborhood, they shared everything, from their first bikes to their first heartbreaks. Their dreams were as vast as the city they lived in, but their paths were different. Sam, with his brilliant mind, was destined for the halls of a prestigious university in a city far away. Ken, on the other hand, was rooted in their hometown, his life revolving around school, college, and finally, a job in the city they both loved. The day of Sam's departure was filled with bittersweet goodbyes. Even as they hugged each other, their hearts heavy with the pain of separation, they promised to keep their bond alive no matter the distance. As Sam departs, leaving Ken behind, little do they know what the future holds for them. Fast forward a few years, Ken, now a diligent employee, finds his life turned upside down. Picture Ken, a model of diligence and dedication in the bustling city, a man who's climbed the corporate ladder with grit and integrity. He's made a name for himself, respected in his field, a beacon of hope for those who believe in hard work. But as fate would have it, dark clouds begin to gather over his sunny existence. A catastrophic event shakes the city to its core, a deadly bombing, resulting in the loss of countless innocent lives. And in the midst of the chaos and confusion, an unexpected name surfaces as the prime suspect: Ken. Imagine the disbelief, the shock that engulfed Ken as he's accused of orchestrating this horrific event. A man who's always walked the straight and narrow, now painted as a villain, a terrorist. The same hands that once held textbooks, now allegedly responsible for a devastating act of violence. The news spreads like wildfire, turning Ken's world topsy-turvy. His reputation, once spotless, is now smeared with accusations and mistrust. The city he called home turns its back on him. The people he thought were his allies now look at him with suspicion and fear. The evidence, all circumstantial yet convincing, piles up against him. His pleas of innocence fall on deaf ears, drowned out by the clamor for justice. The very system he trusted now holds him captive, wrongfully accused, and powerless to prove his innocence. And so, the once revered Ken finds himself shackled, his freedom stripped away. His walk, no longer that of a free man but of a captive, an alleged criminal. His heart heavy with the weight of unjust accusations, his spirit battling against the crushing blow of betrayal. As Ken is led away in handcuffs, a familiar face watches from the crowd. Enter Sam, now a renowned lawyer, who witnesses his friend's plight. Sam, who had left his hometown for studies, had now returned as a celebrated legal eagle, only to find his childhood friend Ken embroiled in a storm of accusations and deceit. Shaken by the sight of his friend caught in a web of corruption and crime, Sam knew he had to step in. He couldn't stand by and watch Ken's life crumble under the weight of false allegations. Sam decided to use his legal prowess to defend Ken, to fight the injustice that had been served to his friend. As Sam delved deeper into the case, he began to unravel a sinister plot. The company Ken worked for was not just corrupt, but a front for a much darker operation. It was a gateway to the international drug market, controlled by a ruthless mafia. The more Sam dug, the more he found. The company's boss, whom Ken had trusted, was the puppet master pulling the strings. He had used Ken as a scapegoat, pinning the company's crimes on him to avoid the law's long arm. Sam's investigation was not going unnoticed. His relentless pursuit of the truth was drawing attention from the wrong crowd. He was putting himself in the line of fire, attracting the wrath of the powerful mafia controlling the company. But Sam was undeterred. Each threat, each attempt to intimidate him, only fueled his resolve. He knew he had to expose the truth, not just to save Ken, but to bring down the mafia that was wreaking havoc under the guise of a reputable company. The stakes were high, the enemies perilous, but Sam was ready to risk it all. He fought the villains, collected evidence against the corrupt boss, and proved Ken's innocence in court. Ken was not the culprit. He was a pawn in a dangerous game. But as Sam uncovers the truth, he finds himself in the crosshairs of dangerous enemies. His fight against the mafia had just begun. His pursuit of justice had made him a target, and danger was looming. But Sam was ready. He had taken the first step towards bringing down a criminal empire. The fight for justice takes a tragic turn as Sam pays the ultimate price. Life, as unpredictable as it is, takes a devastating twist. The noble fight against corruption and crime is not without its casualties. In the pursuit of justice, Sam, our renowned lawyer and Ken's steadfast ally, falls into the merciless hands of the nefarious John. A shadow of terror looms over the city as John, the Dubai mafia leader, who has been exposed by Ken and Sam, decides to hit back hard. He dispatches his ruthless team of henchmen. Their mission: to silence Sam, the man who dared to unmask John's illicit operations. In a cruel twist of fate, Sam, the beacon of justice, becomes the victim of a brutal attack. His valiant stand against the underworld costs him dearly. The villains, without an ounce of humanity, dismember him, severing his limbs in a horrific display of their cold-blooded nature. The city mourns the loss of a hero. The news of Sam's demise spreads like wildfire, leaving a trail of shock and sorrow. But the most shattering blow is yet to be delivered. Ken, Sam's childhood friend, the man who stood by him through thick and thin, receives a gruesome package. It's Sam's severed head, a macabre testament to the brutalities of the underworld. The sight is gut-wrenching, a sight that will forever be etched in Ken's memory. The pain is unbearable, the loss unfathomable. Ken's heart shatters into a million pieces. He is consumed by grief, his world turned upside down. The echoes of their shared laughter and dreams now replaced by a deafening silence. But amidst the heartache, a fire is kindled within Ken. His tears of sorrow quickly turn into a burning rage. The loss of his friend, his brother in arms, fuels a newfound resolve within him. He clenches his fists, his eyes filled with a determination that wasn't there before. The grief-stricken friend morphs into a vengeful warrior, ready to wage a war against the underworld. Fueled by grief and anger, Ken vows to avenge his fallen friend. The stage is set for a battle that will shake the very foundations of the underworld, and Ken, he's ready to fight, ready to bring justice for Sam. The final showdown awaits. Ken, now a man on a mission, seeks help from an old friend, Prince. This isn't any ordinary mission. This is a mission of justice, a mission of retribution, a mission of honor. Ken's journey to Prince isn't just a physical one, but a journey back through time, through a shared past filled with childhood laughter, camaraderie, and dreams. Dreams that were shattered by the cruel hand of fate. Ken and Prince, two boys who once played in the sandy dunes of their hometown, now stand together, bound by a common purpose. Prince, ever the loyal friend, agrees to stand by Ken to aid him in his quest. Their bond, strengthened by the trials they've faced, is now unbreakable. They sit down, plotting their course of action, strategizing for the final confrontation with John, the mafia leader. The walls of Prince's grand fortress echo with their determined voices, planning each move, each attack, each defense. This isn't just about revenge. It's about justice, about setting right a wrong that has claimed too many innocent lives. They plan meticulously, leaving no stone unturned. They gather information, study their enemy, and prepare for every possible outcome. They train tirelessly, pushing their bodies to the limit, honing their skills for the battle that looms over the horizon. Time seems to race as the day of the final showdown approaches. Ken, with Prince by his side, stands ready, his spirit unbroken, his resolve unshaken. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for Sam, for their friendship, for the innocence that was unjustly taken away. And then, the day arrives. The sun rises over the glittering cityscape of Dubai, casting long shadows that seem to hold their breath in anticipation. Ken and Prince, armed with their courage and the strength of their friendship, march into the lion's den. The battle is fierce, the stakes are high. It's a game of cat and mouse, of cunning and brute force. But Ken fights with the strength of 10 men, his heart fueled by his burning desire for justice. He fights like a man possessed, his every punch, his every kick, a testament to his unwavering resolve. The battle rages on, the city of Dubai bearing silent witness to the titanic clash. And then, in a climactic moment, Ken lands the final blow. In a climactic battle in Dubai, Ken fulfills his vow, bringing John's reign of terror to an end. The tyrant falls, and with him, the shadow that had loomed over their lives. Ken stands victorious not just for himself, but for Sam, for their friendship, for justice. The final showdown is over, but the echoes of their battle will resonate forever.